Rigby is one of the most important characters in regular show. As we see right from the pilot episode, The Power, without him, the series wouldn't just feel different, it wouldn't be the same at all. Today we're diving into the full story of the raccoon, who became one of regular show's most iconic characters. Rigby was born in the later half of the 20th century to Sherm and Barbara, but from the very beginning, his life was anything but ordinary. From a young age, Rigby showed signs that he was going to be well different, in the sense that while other kids were learning to color inside the lines, Rigby was already plotting his next adventure, or his next prank. In regular show, the movie, we find out exactly how this legendary duo of Mordecai and Rigby formed. It was in kindergarten that Rigby met the person who would become his lifelong friend and co-worker, Mordecai. Rigby had a way of making people laugh without even trying. His energy was infectious, as we could see in the show later on, and Mordecai couldn't resist joining in. From that moment, a bond was formed, a bond that would carry them through countless misadventures, ridiculous stunts, and all-out disasters in the park later on. We also find out that Rigby's family life was far from simple. He became an older brother when his younger sibling, Don, was born. Unlike Don, who seemed calm, confident, and perfect, Rigby had to navigate the challenges of being the middle-of-the-pack kid. In Rigby's graduation day special, we see the root of his insecurities. Their father, Sherm, often belittled Rigby and seemed to favor Don, leaving Rigby feeling underestimated and overlooked. These early experiences planted the seeds for a personality full of insecurity, competitiveness, and a streak of reckless defiance, traits that would define him for the rest of his life. As portrayed in the high school flashbacks of regular show, The Movie, we find out Rigby was a natural rebel. He refused to conform to rules, often refused to wear clothes, and found endless ways to cause chaos. This wasn't just stubbornness, it was the early development of a behavior pattern that followed him into adulthood. Rigby's chaotic energy was already apparent in his early missions, from sneaking snacks he wasn't allowed to eat, to challenging teachers and adults at every turn. By the age of 12, Rigby and Mordecai were already seasoned adventurers. In the episode Lunch Break, we find out about a memorable incident involving a cereal called RGB2. Yes, for the sake of a tiny toy inside the box. The result was a trip to the hospital and the destruction of the TV they were trying to win the toy from, giving them a lifetime lesson that some risks might be unnecessary. But these early misadventures were crucial. They shaped Rigby into a raccoon who was impulsive, daring, and always up for a challenge, no matter how chaotic. We also find out in Blind Trust and Prank Callers that even in these formative years, Rigby's personality was a study in extremes. He was fiercely loyal to his friends, especially Mordecai, yet wildly unpredictable. He could make someone laugh hysterically one minute and accidentally destroy their favorite toy the next. His creativity, energy, and reckless curiosity were all part of what made Rigby the type of person we know now. As Rigby transitioned into adulthood, his defining characteristic was his tendency toward chaos and mischief. These troublemaker years were formative, establishing his core behaviors and insecurities. Rigby struggled academically in high school, relying heavily on slacking and disruptive behavior. This insecurity regarding his intelligence is explicitly seen in the episode More Smarter, where Rigby purchases a fake diploma in an attempt to feel equal to Mordecai. Rigby's consistent failure to adapt to formal education is a consistent thread throughout his younger life. His high school experience included frequent conflicts and rivalries, most notably with Francis Jablonski. Due to Rigby's inherent physical weakness, a fact highlighted in episodes like Rigby's Body, his strategy was to rely on loud, unpredictable pranks and constant mischief to gain attention and avoid being ignored. A significant factor contributing to Rigby's rebellious streak during this period was his younger brother, Don. Don was successful and widely admired, a constant source of professional and personal inadequacy for Rigby. In the episode Don, it is established that Rigby's chaotic behavior is primarily a defense mechanism, developed in reaction to constantly being overshadowed by his sibling. The defining event of this era is detailed in regular show, The Movie. When Mordecai was accepted to College U and Rigby was rejected, Rigby acted out of selfish panic. He intentionally forged a rejection letter for Mordecai. This specific action was Rigby's attempt to force Mordecai to stay, preventing their separation and maintaining their current status quo. This toxic act demonstrates that Rigby's deep loyalty to Mordecai was inextricably linked to a profound fear of abandonment. Rigby's chaos was therefore not always aimless mischief, but often a highly reactive mechanism to control his environment and maintain key relationships. Despite the academic failure and dropping out, these years established the core dynamic of the duo, Mordecai as the cautious partner, and Rigby as the aggressive catalyst for action. Rigby eventually corrects his academic history later in the series, earning his diploma in the episode The Eileen Plan. By the conclusion of his high school years, Rigby had cemented his identity as an impulsive and unpredictable figure. However, these years also fostered his resourcefulness and deep-seated loyalty, creating the complex, chaotic, and eventually self-aware character. After high school, Rigby officially started his adult life by becoming a groundskeeper at the park, working right beside Mordecai. This job, which was technically the result of them losing a coin toss for a low-wage position, instantly became the perfect stage for Rigby's impulsive and unpredictable behavior. The park setting quickly turned simple tasks like mowing the lawn or cleaning the gutters into bizarre, supernatural, or genuinely dangerous events. The groundskeeper job ensured Rigby's key relationships were put under constant stress. Benson, the park manager, is Rigby's chief source of conflict because Rigby actively and intentionally defies him and avoids work. This constant rebellion is what drives Benson's signature explosions of rage. The central tension of the show is Rigby and Mordecai attempting to save their jobs, while causing a catastrophe that should logically get them fired. In stark contrast, Muscle Man and High Five Ghost are frequently Rigby's allies, joining him in low-effort schemes, pranks, and chanting. Their shared sense of humor often involves elaborate, lowbrow, and frequently destructive stunts. The other park staff serve different roles in Rigby's chaotic life. Skips, the wise and immortal groundskeeper, consistently intervenes to fix the catastrophic disasters Rigby causes. Skips' extensive supernatural knowledge means he often provides immediate solutions, usually stating, "I've seen this before." Pops, whose pure and innocent nature is immune to cynicism, brought out a rare empathy in Rigby. Pops' unconditional kindness provided a balance to Rigby's destructive urges, showing that Rigby, though chaotic, possessed loyalty and a genuinely caring side, particularly toward the kind-hearted lollipop man. Rigby is defined physically by his small stature, standing at 3 feet 5 inches with distinct brown fur and spiked hair. A key physical detail is the scar on his left butt cheek. This scar is directly traced back to a childhood accident, which is fully explained in the episode Death Punchies. This detail serves as a permanent, humorous reminder of his tendency to live life on the edge. While Rigby is primarily known for being lazy, having a poor work ethic, and poor hygiene, he exhibits unique talents when the situation demands it. He has high agility and an ability to think fast under pressure, which helps him survive impossible situations. However, character flaws like his crippling panic attacks, avoidance of responsibility, and refusal to pay his debts, a recurring plot point in the early seasons, are constant problems. We see Rigby's extreme measures to avoid work in numerous episodes, most clearly when dealing with mundane tasks like cleaning the garage or, in the classic episode, A Bunch of Baby Ducks. His main focus during this period, aside from survival, was consistently playing video games and slacking off with Mordecai. For a long time, we as an audience viewed Rigby as the anchor, the guy holding Mordecai back. But as the show progressed into its middle and later seasons, a shift occurred. Rigby didn't just stop being the troublemaker. He started becoming the character with the most emotional intelligence in the entire park. This is where we see the great pivot, where the raccoon who couldn't even handle a simple task started carrying the weight of the show's heart. The most important factor in Rigby's evolution was Eileen Roberts. In the early seasons, Rigby treated Eileen like an annoyance, mostly because he was too insecure to handle the fact that someone as smart and capable as her actually liked him. But as they grew closer, something shifted. Eileen didn't try to change Rigby. She simply believed he was capable of more than just slacking off. In episodes like One Pull-Up and The Eileen Plan, we see Rigby pushing himself to the physical and mental limit, not because Benson yelled at him, but because he wanted to be worthy of the person he loved. For the first time, Rigby had an internal motivation. He wasn't running away from trouble anymore. He was running toward a future. This relationship is arguably the most healthy and realistic growth we see in the entire series, moving from awkward denial to a rock-solid partnership. One of the most fascinating things for fans to watch was the maturity swap between Mordecai and Rigby. For years, Mordecai was the sensible one, but as Mordecai spiraled into the Mordecaiing drama of his love life with Margaret and CJ, Rigby became the voice of reason. Think back to the episode Dumped at the Altar. While Mordecai is making a total mess of things, Rigby is the one standing there with a level head, trying to help his friend navigate the chaos. Rigby's growth was so profound because it was quiet. He didn't brag about becoming more mature. He just started showing up for people. He went from being the guy who would lie to get out of a chore to the guy who would study late into the night just to get a high school diploma. Rigby's weirdness also began to serve a higher purpose. His impulsive nature, which used to cause disasters, started saving the day. Whether it was his mastery of ham-boning to save their lives or his high-speed agility in a crisis, Rigby's unconventional skills became the park's secret weapon. In the episode The Real Thomas, we see a Rigby who is observant and protective of his home. He wasn't just working at the park because he had nowhere else to go. He stayed because he finally felt like he belonged. He stopped seeing himself as a screw-up and started seeing himself as a groundskeeper. That shift in self-identity is what allowed him to finally face his father and his past without blinking. By this point in the story, Rigby had done the impossible. He had earned the respect of the people who used to look down on him. Even Benson, who spent years screaming at him, began to see Rigby as a reliable part of the team. Rigby's journey in this era proves that growth isn't about losing your spark. It's about directing it toward the people who matter. He kept his humor, his energy, and his love for video games, but he added a layer of accountability. He became the guy who finished finishes what he starts, the guy who supports his girl, and the guy who finally realized that being smart isn't about a diploma. It's about how you treat the people around you. As regular show entered its final stretch, something remarkable happened that many viewers didn't see coming. Rigby became the mature one. For 7 seasons, we watched him mess up, slack off, and lean on Mordecai. But in the final arc, particularly during the in-space season, we see the culmination of his metamorphosis. Rigby wasn't just a sidekick anymore. He was the person holding the group together when things got cosmic. The turning point for Rigby's character, and arguably the most satisfying moment for longtime fans, was the episode Rigby's Graduation Day Special. This wasn't just about a high school diploma. It was about Rigby finally conquering the ghosts of his past. By standing on that stage and delivering his speech, he wasn't just proving his father or the bullies wrong. He was proving to himself that he was capable of finishing what he started. This version of Rigby was a far cry from the raccoon who forged a rejection letter in the movie. He had replaced his fear of being less than with a quiet, hard-earned confidence. We see this shift in his relationship with Mordecai too. For the first time, Rigby began calling Mordecai out on his mistakes, but not out of spite, out of a genuine desire to see his best friend do better. When the stakes escalated to a universal level, in a regular epic final battle, Rigby's role was pivotal. He didn't have the immortality of Skips or the raw power of Pops, but he had something just as vital. As we watch the final confrontation with Anti-Pops, Rigby is no longer the one running away from the danger. He's the one jumping into the fray. The most poignant moment for the audience comes when the park is sent back to Earth. Rigby doesn't celebrate a day off or a win. Instead, he reflects on the loss of Pops with a depth of emotion that the Rigby of Season 1 would have been too insecure to show. He learned that being a man meant feeling the weight of the moment, even when it hurts. The finale's famous time jump sequence gives us the perfect ending for Rigby. We see him decades later, and the transformation is complete. We see Rigby as a father to several children with Eileen. He didn't become his father, Sherm. He became the supportive, present parent he never had. He didn't end up stuck in a dead-end job he hated. He found a life of balance, maintaining the playful spark of his youth while embracing the stability of adulthood. The final shot of Rigby and Mordecai, now older and grayer, playing video games one last time, tells us everything we need to know. Their bond didn't break under the weight of growing up. It evolved. So why has Rigby remained such an iconic figure in animation? It's because he represents the struggle of the underdog. Most of us aren't born cool like Mordecai or wise like Skips. Most of us are like Rigby, messy, impulsive, and constantly afraid of not being good enough. Rigby's journey tells us that your past doesn't define your future. You can be the middle-of-the-pack kid, you can be the high school dropout, and you can be the chaotic prankster, and you can still grow up to be a hero. He didn't lose his personality to become an adult. He just learned how to use his energy for the people he loved. Rigby started the series as a raccoon who couldn't even win a game of punchies. He ended it as a man who won at life. He wasn't just a regular character. He was the living proof that anyone can change for the better, provided they have the courage to try, and a best friend by their side. Rigby showed us that you don't have to stop being weird to start being great, and that is anything but regular.